Hi, I'm Troy McGuinness, the author of CapabilityKit.com. CapabilityKit aims to help you manage your agentic AI workflow by defining capabilities in your applications and testing your code against those capabilities. Let's take a look at how to get set up and get started. So I've just created a brand new blank application here. There's nothing in there other than the boilerplate. I just did a npx create VDA latest, and here we are. Now, what you're going to need is the CLI for CapabilityKit. So you're going to need to do an npm install global CapabilityKit /CLI. Now, whether you install it as a global package or a developer package is up to you. If you use a developer package, you have to just do npx CapabilityKit rather than just being able to call CapabilityKit by itself. So CapabilityKit is fully documented on the help through help, so you can sort of see all of the commands, and you can even sort of anyway you can do -h or --help. You're going to get all the instructions for it, including sort of what you would sort of do to get set up, the daily tasks, how to review capabilities, how to use the agent workflows, and how to do some graph visualization. But to get started, the first thing that you really want to do is install the skills so that your Claude Code, your Codex, Copilot, CLI, know how to work with these capabilities. So let's do that. CapabilityKit skill. So by installing that, we cleverly sort of merge with your current agents and Claude MD files and reference back to ours. So now you're able to, in your coding window, do a lot of stuff. Now, initially, we don't install or change your project at all. If you want to use capabilities, you have to opt in for it. So CapabilityKit init prepares your project by adding a capabilities folder, a .capabilities folder, and inside there we put one example capability. Now, capabilities are just text files. They're formatted YAML files, and the goal is that they explain something that a capability of your application is meant to have, or a feature. They have a title, a summary, and intent. Now, what's the difference between intent and summary? Well, just like people, if you tell them the end goal that you want, often they find innovative ways to fulfill that end goal that you wouldn't have thought of. So by giving the coding agents the intent for a capability, what you're helping do is constrain the LLMs and the AI coding agents to achieve the goal that you want and know when. Now, that's where the acceptance criteria comes in. The acceptance criteria is a list of things that a coding agent can go and check on your behalf to see if your code fulfills this contract, this need. And that's sort of not like unit tests. Unit test confirms the code does what the unit test says it should do. What acceptance criteria is in a capability is make sure and give me a tick that the code does what I say. And guidance is a way of telling the LLMs, you're giving them instructions that you want, particularly for dealing with this example capability. For example, if you know that you want to store files on AWS S3, and this capability was to store files, you would add in here, we use AWS S3. And now when you pass this capability off to the agentic coding engines, it's got the guidance already built in. And this is where plans often differed. We used to separate the requirements of what we wanted with how to do it. They used to be combined. And we'd go into planning mode, and then we would generate the code, but the plan never really stayed in sync. And it was so complex that no one could really take a quick look and see what this was meant to do. You just knew the code, and then you had to ascertain what it should do, what it was doing, what it is doing. Capabilities help you separate those concerns a little. So this example capability doesn't really do much. We might want to go and create one of our own. you can do that through the command line, and I'm copying one here because I'm a terrible typer, as you probably noticed. But CapabilityKit create, you give it an area, and then you give it a title. And when we execute that, what happens is the area becomes a folder structure. So these are hierarchical. So you can sort of group them and track them however you want. And then it creates a test capability, which is what we called it there as a title. And it gives it some criteria that you have there. But to be honest, you will probably never create them manually in this way. You're more than likely going to come over to a Codex engine and do something like, and give it an instruction. Remember, we installed the skill earlier. So when we do this, create another test capability that does something cool, what happens is now your coding agent looks at our skill and goes and creates one for you. So that'll take a minute or so to get up and running there. And when it does, we'll see a new capability over here in the test area. Now, while it's doing that, it'll take a few seconds. You can always look at the status of your capabilities and sort of see which state they're in and whether they're on the roadmap or not, where they are. And you sort of see over here, it's created a new cool capability, momentum sparks. It's planned. Celebrate meaningful to-do progress with small, satisfying sparks and help the user notice when they're building momentum. Now it gives the intention. Now it gives the acceptance criteria. Complete a to-do briefly shows a localized spark animation. Completing 3 or more. Now you sort of see what's going to happen in CapabilityKit when we do a verify is it's going to go through and check that that there is code which handles these acceptance criteria. So let's give that a go. CapabilityKit verify. It's found some gaps in momentum spark because we don't have any code to do that yet. But each of these, what happened was we went and looked to see, is there code that fulfills this acceptance criteria? And there isn't. Now, it's pretty hard to sort of keep track of these things and just using the editor. One of the things that we do is help you visualize these graph viewer. We help you visualize your dependency graphs and what each of them are. So if I open that in the integrated browser there, what you're going to see is that the example 1 and our 2 test capabilities are here, and you'll sort of see that the acceptance criteria isn't very good. Let me just open that up in a browser window so you can sort of see it in full size. You know, what ends up happening is for each of these, we will see red acceptance criteria, almost like unit tests, but on the acceptance criteria for each of the capabilities. So that's all there is to getting up and running and viewing them and creating them. Honestly, you will probably use your coding tools, your AI agentic coding tools, to do most of the work. You won't do a lot of work in the command line, but if you do, --help will always be your friend. Thanks for that. I will talk to you in the next video. We'll build out our to-do app. Thanks.